What's up, YouTube? Micah here. Today we're going to be talking about a couple modifications that I've made to the Roto Pax. Now, one of the most notorious things with Roto Pax, and really any gas can for that matter, that sucks is the nozzles that they come with. So they come with these stupid like safety nozzles that you have to like push in the safety thing. This one I don't even think I can do anymore. I had to this is a replacement for the one that came with the Roto Pax, and that one broke. So then I got this one broke. I've just had nothing but terrible luck with these things. They suck. So I got a couple mods here. I'm going to go over a couple different products. So what I'm going to do is just kind of like a tabletop overview, and then I'll do a demonstration of how much better these new products work. So let's get to it. So again, this is the like original factory nozzle, or the traditional nozzles that you see. The one that came with the Roto Pax broke on me, and it never really worked that well to begin with. So I bought this one. This is just your run-of-the-mill like safety nozzle. I got this one at Sportsman's Warehouse. So the design behind these, I don't know if you've ever used them before, but essentially this clip is supposed to push in, and then when you push this into the gas tank, it allows this to push, and then gas can flow out through this hole, and then air is supposed to be drawn in, which allows the gas to flow more smoothly. So it never really worked to begin with. It's just been lousy. It's not even broken, I don't think. It just sucks. So I wanted an alternative for this, and I came across this company that does replacement nozzles. It's called Ai13, I think is how you say it. So I just went ahead and pulled the trigger to buy it. It's somewhat expensive, I would say, relatively speaking. I think this was like $6 or $5 or something, or maybe it was like 12. And then this one, I think it's $40 or $50, but it's definitely much higher quality. So another issue with these nozzles is that the gasket that goes around this piece actually kind of comes off, and it allows gas to leak sometimes, which is a problem that I had with the original Roto Pax. When you would go to screw this on to here, the gasket would get caught up on these threads. Just sucks in general. But this is the product here. So when you buy it, it actually doesn't come with this piece, which I think is kind of another unfortunate thing about making this more expensive, because this is a separate piece, and I'll link everything in the description so you can see the pricing. I don't remember exactly offhand how much this costs, but you have to buy this nozzle separate if you're trying to use this for a vehicle, because you need to be able to fit it into the gas tank. Otherwise, you can't really fit this into the gas tank, and you're just going to make a huge mess. If you're just trying to fill up like lawnmowers or something, this will be cool. But for vehicles, you're going to need this piece. But essentially, it's an all-metal construction. Everything on here is metal. The gasket that seals off the gas for the container is really nice and thick. It doesn't really flop off. It looks like you might be able to remove it if you wanted to clean it or something, but it seems really heavy-duty. This thing's also flexible, so it's really nice, where this is just totally rigid, so you kind of had to flip up the tank. This, you can kind of get it into position, especially when you have this nozzle piece here. So I'll screw this on. So pretend this is your gas tank. You can kind of bend it like this to get it in, and then you lift the Roto Pax up, and it makes it really nice. And I'll show you in demonstration a little bit later. But yeah, so really solves the problem, makes it flow out pretty nice. Now the only thing is this does not have any sort of air vent or air valve. So with this, it has this air valve, which allows it to flow a little more smoothly and not take 10 years to fill up, even though it still took quite some time. And so I originally bought this thinking maybe it would work without an air valve. And to be honest, it doesn't work too well by itself. So after I purchased this, I realized, it would take, I don't even know, man, maybe like 15 minutes to fill up a 3-gallon tank. So it just took way too long, and I was trying to figure out a way to get an air valve on the actual tank. So I don't know if you've ever, and actually I can grab it real quick. when you're, trying to get water out of this thing, you unscrew the valve and it allows water to flow out the nozzle much quicker. So I was trying to think of a way that I could get a valve onto the actual Roto Pax. And so I did some browsing and I came across this other product, which I think really makes sense in tandem with this. I probably wouldn't recommend buying this unless you're going to do this other mod. So these guys are little valves, and it comes with 6 that you can install an air valve onto your Roto Pax. So I played around with location. I was thinking I wanted it centered. I ended up moving it over a little bit because there's a seam that runs down the length of the Roto Pack. So I did it off center, and you can probably play around with where you're going to put it. I wanted to put it, because you got to think, you're going to be filling up gas and turning this thing upside down. So you need the valve to be on the bottom of the tank somewhere, because you can't put it up here, because if when you go to tilt this thing up, all the gas is going to be in this spot and the air pocket is going to be back here. So you can't put it up top. Make sure you're putting it on the bottom somewhere. I landed on this location, which makes the most sense to me. It's not on this seam, so it makes a nice seal against the actual body of the tank. It's towards the bottom, and it's not like, if you were to put it here, this nozzle would be kind of like exposed, I think, and you run the risk of like knocking into it, bumping it on stuff. So I kind of wanted it tucked in here a little bit, but obviously you can put it wherever you want. But the premise behind this is pretty simple. This kit comes with 6 little nozzles, and there's actually some mods that you're going to have to make to this thing, unfortunately. But it comes with a little wrench. It comes with a wire. So I'm not going to do an install here, but it comes with the drill bit for the size that you're going to need. So essentially the premise of this is there's a little nut on here. There's a couple little O-rings on here. And what you're going to do is drill a hole where you want the valve located. And it's kind of nerve-wracking because, I mean, these Roto Packs are like $100. So I was taking a gamble here, committing to going forward with it. But you drill a hole where you want it. It comes with this little wire as well. And you run the wire through the mouth of the Roto Packs and out the hole that you drilled. So mine looks something like this. And then you feed this valve onto the correct direction down through here, and then you're going to pull it up through the hole that you drilled. And there's like an instruction video. You can kind of look it up. I'm not going to do it right now. Really, the main point is just to show you this guy. But anyway, the valve in tandem with this Ai13 nozzle is perfect and makes it so much faster. I think it probably takes 30 seconds, maybe less, to fill up a 3 gallons worth of gas. So it definitely is the way to go as far as the traditional way, because this is just absolutely garbage. So now the problem with these valves that kind of sucks, and I learned this the hard way, is that there's actually on the inside of the cap of this, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but on the inside of this guy here, there is a little O-ring inside there, like a little silicone O-ring. You can kind of see it, looks like glue. So that thing is supposed to seal this off properly. So when you screw this down, and these things are actually kind of annoying, but when you screw this on, that little O-ring is supposed to seal off gas from leaking through this. So it seals the tip of this part. Now, when I first installed this, I had 0 issues. I went ahead, installed it, screwed this down. It was totally fine. And then when I went to actually fill up my truck and refilled this with gas, I noticed that gas was leaking through here. So that gasket actually got somehow sucked into this stem, and I plugged it out thinking like, what the heck was that? I thought something fell in the tank or something, and it turned out to be that little gasket. and then it wouldn't seal properly. So then I was like, oh great, now I need to replace this. So then I replaced it with another one of these, and none of them worked the way the first one worked, and it only worked once to begin with. So that's an actual issue with these things that you're going to have to fix too. And honestly, I don't know if this is a great solution, but I just had some little random piece of, I don't even know what this is. It's like rubber, but it's not rubber. It's like polypropylene or something. I mean, I have no idea what this is, but I basically cut a little chunk of this off and shaped it with some scissors and sanded it down and basically inserted this material into this cap, and it was able to seal, to make an actual uniform seal along this edge here. So once I did that, was totally fine. I was actually talking to my uncle about it. He said that I should run some Teflon tape, like what plumbers use, except I guess there's a different one. The problem is with certain materials, gas is actually corrosive, and you want to make sure it's not something that can be corroded. But couldn't tell you what this is, but it's been working for me so far. So you'll have to come up with your own solution. I doubt you have one of these laying around your garage, but I just shaped it, stuck it in there, and it was totally fine. So I'll give you a quick look at what this actually looks like. So I'm sure if you've seen these before, how this works, this or is intended to work, is you're supposed to, it comes with one of these little caps. You stick this on here, there's a gasket here, you drop this in, and then you screw this on, and there you go. So the way that they designed theirs, Ai13, is that they give you this piece here, and I'll kind of give you a close-up of this, but here's the red cap alternative to this. So check that out. There's their branding, made in USA. It's actually pretty heavy. It's kind of cool looking. And then you can see, again, this is the separate piece that you're going to have to buy separately. Like I said, I think this might be 20 bucks or something. It's got a little O-ring on here. This is the piece that you get. So when you buy this nozzle, all it comes with is the nozzle and the cap. So if you were just going to do this for lawnmowers or something, you'd be fine with just this, but then you got to buy this separately. I honestly think, if I'm remembering correctly, it's like 75 bucks for everything, which seems ridiculous, which it honestly kind of is, but I was done struggling with trying to fill up my gas with these other crappy nozzles. So then this drops into here, and there's actually, in these Roto Pax, obviously, this little cutout here is internal. So you can kind of feel, because this is so much longer, you can feel it hit that, but you kind of have to just shimmy it down below that. Then you just drop this into the cap portion, and then I'm just OCD, so I always make sure this wording is vertical, and then you're good to go. So what it looks like with it actually ready to go, and you just have to set this guy to the side. You drop this around here, and that's what it looks like when it's fully assembled. So like I said, this thing's flexible, it's pretty floppy, and it allows you to get it in the gas tank, and then you flip it up. So looks way cooler than this one as well. Overall, I really like the construction of this. The only downside is that you pretty much have to do this air valve for this to be worthwhile, because without airflow, it just takes way too long to fill up your tank with 3 gallons. Now, the only downside to this, I think, is, you probably notice I'm wearing gloves, is that these ridges, or I don't know what you want to call them, there's these little ridges that run along the length of this, so you can kind of see, and it's not really that big of an issue, but when there's gas in this, you're dunking this whole thing into gas, and when you pull it out, it actually retains a decent amount of gas on these little ridges, and you definitely want to wear gloves because you're going to get gas like all over your hands trying to put this on properly. So that's really the only negative thing I have to say about it, other than the price. They also offer on their website a metal version of this, which is pretty sweet, but all of that is sold separately. So you have to buy this, you got to buy this, and then you'd have to buy this. And I think all together that's like $100-something bucks, which is more than the Roto Pax. So yeah, I'll put it all together and show you a little demo of how it runs, and then yeah, you can get a good idea if it's something you want to buy or not. So I didn't realize my truck was full of gas before I started filming, so I'm just going to fill up my buddy's car here. So we'll get a good idea of how much faster it is with this air valve on here compared to without it. So it's kind of the cool thing too about this little nozzle that they provide that you can purchase separately. You just stick it right in there. And then what I do is I flip it up, kind of get it going, and then you just unscrew this little valve here. And as soon as you let it go, it immediately starts flowing in there. You get the air stuff through that valve. And that's it. And actually, I think it would have been a little bit quicker. I didn't realize his tank had like a valve or something on there that blocks the gas from going in. But you get the idea. And just make sure you screw this back on. I also wanted to quickly show you just where I keep my Roto Pax in the truck. So if you want to see this view, got this end of the Diamondback opened up. So I just mounted their, I don't even know what this mount's called, but mounted that to the back of the bed. And then the Roto Pack just slips in here. And you can slide this, doing this one hand. And then you can see on there, that's that mount. And all you do is rotate it. And then that kind of locks it into place, keeps it from jumping around. And I put it on this side because the gas tank is right there. So yeah, that's where it's at. All right, that wraps it up for this video. Like I said, everything that you saw in the video will be in the description box below, so feel free to check that out. If you want to leave a comment, any suggestions that you've done to your Roto Pax, any mods that you've done that you think I might want to see, I'd be interested to hear that. But yeah, till next time, see ya.